my friends, how are you doing? I'm so glad you're here. My name is Lauren, and today we're going to be making a really beautiful swan manicure with a new plate from Maniology with swans on it. Let's get started. Here is this new Maniology swan plate. I absolutely love plates like this where we have some backgrounds and some subjects that we can make a scene with. So let's do that. We'll get a good peel off of here. Let's see. Ooh, that one came off so smooth. All right, so I've got some medium almond tips here. I use this brand, I love. I just picked these because they're a little bit longer than the ones I normally do because I want to make sure I have a big enough canvas for our beautiful scene here. I picked out a color palette. You know, I usually go ahead and grab a few different things, but I put this together ahead of time and I think I've got pretty much everything I wanted. I'm gonna need sticky base and smudge free, of course. I'm gonna go with Bam White. I'm foregoing the black and I'm gonna use Acorn for the outlines, although I might actually be using a dark blue for the outline. So I've got 3 types of greens, 3 types of blues, some warm yellowy oranges, 3 of those, and then 3 of these really soft pinks. And then some fun glitters over here that I'm probably gonna need to use as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use Canterbury for our outlines maybe. So let me add one more blue into our collection here. I'm gonna be doing a sponge background to give this a soft romantic feel. So I've got this white down here that's totally dry. Let me space these out a little bit. I'm gonna just get a regular makeup sponge like this. And I'm actually gonna ombre pink and blue and white. So when I saw this plate, I immediately thought of the book, The Trumpet of the Swan, which is a book by E.B. White, who also wrote Charlotte's Web. And I have such strong memories of this book. I probably read it 100 times growing up. The thing about that book is right off the bat, it really hooks you. And there is a little boy who is camping. I think he's in Canada. And he sees a swan, a mute swan, or a trumpeter swan that can't make a call. But the thing I remember about that book the most is right before the little boy goes to bed, he has a little diary that he writes in every night. And in that diary, he asks himself a question to ponder while he's falling asleep. And I think the first question that he asks in that book is, why does the fox bark? Why do foxes bark? Which is a good question. But when I read that as a kid, I thought, I don't know, I just took it to heart. And I always ask questions about everything, for better or for worse. It can get me into some trouble, but I always question everything, and I definitely credit that book for some of that. So as you can see, I'm not doing like a linear gradient here. This would look also nice, like kind of dabbled, which I might kind of build up on this, but I just want to kind of put down these colors. They're very soft, so I'm gonna have to go over them a few times. The colors I just used here are Renew, Bam White, and the CJS 162. Okay, a little bit better view. So I'm liking how soft this is. I'm thinking I might even build up this little sky background a little bit more. These are very like baby blue, baby pink colors. I'm gonna add a couple little clouds, if you will. Thinking a little bit of glitter will be nice before I forget. This is this Sally Hansen Crystal Top Coat. I like this one because it has, this has a kind of a warm shimmer to it, but we've got greens in there and pinks and blues. It just has a really beautiful kind of color palette in there that matches a lot of the colors we're going to be using in here. So it just seems like it'll be a good match. Although I gotta say, this glitter really is a good match for a lot of manicures. I really think it adds like a kind of a sunlight look. While we're waiting on that to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and try to plan our scene out a little bit here. I like the idea of this being the same lake and sort of a continuance on here. So maybe I'll take out this branch, or maybe I'll add a branch to this one. I think I'll start with taking it out here. Let me use Canterbury for our outline. And I think I'm going to start out with this one on the first finger because it's a little more open. And when I'm looking at this, because I have Western eyes, I'm going to be reading it from left to right. And so I'm going to start out with this nice open space. So I'll have plenty of room to continue on this way. I'm just going to see how it looks here, kind of try to see how I want to position this. I'm thinking it'll be nice to put the flowers as sort of like a really vague French tip there. So that's nice. And yeah, I think that's fine just like that. I do think this top coat, we've got water droplet and first light. I'm going to use that for our background in the water here. So I'm going to do a dry brush on the stamper. This is pretty thin, so I'm not going to make it super dry, but I'm just going to add a little bit of this here. And I'm just going to do this now because this glitter stuff can take a little time to dry. I want it to be very dry by the time I get to it. So yeah, that's going to be very subtle to invisible, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm thinking it would be nice to, let's start with our greens because those are kind of obvious. I've got a really soft one here. This is Saaristo Sage, One in a Melon, and Sour Apple. It can be handy to put your paint on a stamper instead of a palette, so when you're done with it, when the paint's all dry, you can just stick it on your lint roller and it'll be all clean and refreshed for your next palette. So I'm going to color in half of each of these leaves, roughly. And I'm going to add some of these bright green to make that pop a little bit. Got some stems and stuff here. For our flowers, I think I'm going to be extremely original and use a little bit of a yellow center here. This is Boo-Gie Nights. And then also very originally, I'm going to do pink flowers. But I'm going to do two colors here on my flower petals. Thinking this is a little more contrasting. This is Strawberry Blush. And I'm just gonna add some little petal lines here. Just one or two per petal. Another way you can do it is kind of cheat. Kind of just make a little spiral around it. Like that. Or you can individually do it, whatever you like. Then I'm going to go in with this darker color. Okay, my foreground flowers are nice and colored in this sort of darker strawberry blush color. I'm going to take 162 and use that to color the rest of these small ones here, and that'll keep them looking bright so they won't get lost in this kind of darker area over here. Make sure you check it from the other side and get all these little gaps and stuff. We've got some mountains and things in the background here as well. So let's also do those as some verdant hills. You know, this might actually look nice mixed with a little bit of Winnie. And Orange Dream. Kind of weird, bear with me. I'm gonna just kind of scoop these together here. And then I'm just gonna drag it like that. And now I'm gonna combine this and this. And do that hill behind it. And I can use that to cover up the rest of these little gaps. And then I'll do that again over here. And then I'll put a little more contrasting color behind that. Now we have some layered hills. I think it's time to move on to the water, and I'm actually not sure what this is gonna do. Maybe I should have done the water first to see if I like this effect before I committed to reverse stamping all those flowers and stuff, but let's see how it goes. I'm gonna actually do another little try drop here. I want this water to be very nice and soft and blue, but I want it to have some variation. So since my outline is so dark, I'm just gonna focus on these light colors. And we can kind of start introducing some more. And what might actually be nice is to add a little more of this textured polish, some glitter here. Nice bright blue. This is North Light, excuse me. So let's put some North Light in there. Oh yeah, that's looking good. So my subject is going to be sitting on this little ripple here in the middle. So maybe I ought to add a little bit more darker water there, as if a shadow. And then I think I'd like the water in the back to be a little lighter. You know what would have been nice? I had just thought of maybe like a silver lake would have been nice. I'm gonna put a sticky base on this. And while we're waiting on that, let's pick up our next scene. I think I am gonna avoid the branches for now. So I'll just take those out of there. I'm probably gonna add them later, but I'm thinking I might want them in a different color. I just wanted to have some breathing room. I'm just gonna take my brush here and tap on this to see if it's dry. Nothing is sticking to the brush, so I think it's good to go. Kind of line it up like this. There we go. Don't you love that about nail art? Make a big rectangular painting and you lose half of it. It's so satisfying. Okay, yeah, let's move on to this. Gonna reset our palette. This time I'm gonna start off with green in the middle here. I wanna make these lily pads look a little more dimensional. Instead of the strawberry blush, let me just use these two CJS polishes. I like how these are a little brighter. Okay, I think I'm gonna push this off to the side just a little bit so I can go ahead and kind of ignore most of the side. I just need to color in this guy. Okay. I think that looks okay. I'm just gonna redo the water like I did before. I was thinking for the accent nail doing this little like frame here. So let's pick that up. I kind of feel like it needs something around it or something to fill out the nail a little more, but I'm not sure yet. Oh, it's just so pretty. So pretty. We'll color in the flowers first. I'm wondering if I should do the outline in pink as well. I think I'm just gonna come back to that. Let's see how this is doing. Oh, it's still wet. Water is wet. Go figure. Okay, moving on. I'm just gonna keep the swans pretty white, I think. No, I want to add a little color to them. Kind of like with the polar bears and that manicure I did. There's another video about that a little ways away. You can check that out. But I added a little bit of yellow to the fur for realism. So I think I'm going to do that here too on the swan's chest here. As sort of a shadow. Like that. And because it's a shadow, I'm going to try to just imagine in my head where the light would be hitting and falling. So my light source is coming from this way. Add some on the cheek. Okay, I think that's good. I can't see it on this, but I'm gonna just go ahead and assume that the swan's body is also back here. So because that is quite shaded, oh man, it's really hard to see. Maybe it doesn't. I can't see it. It's so tiny. All right, let's add the leaves though. Maybe that'll clear things up. So indecisive. Okay, I think I'm gonna do the frame in this light pink. Okay, I'll tell you what the smart thing would be to do. Instead of me sitting here just thinking about it, let's just do it. All right, so I'm just gonna color in the background first. So now I only really have to worry about one line. Staying inside one line, if that makes sense. So now I can just follow the outer line here instead of trying to be careful about going in between. I'll put that away. This is dry by now. So yeah, I'm just gonna shift this over just a little bit. There we go. Let's throw a little top coat on these. Now I want to decide which swans to place on our scene here. These layered ones are cool, but I don't know if I want to layer a reverse stamp. I really like these little babies. So maybe that will look nice on the first one. There's not going to be a lot of room on this one. So maybe a swan in the distance, or maybe this one. I don't know. This is a little hard to see, maybe. This one's a little bit more distinct. Okay, let's just try to reverse, or I mean, let's try to layer stamp it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna make this way too complicated. Well, first of all, let me stamp this in white. Give myself a nice background here. We'll just see how it looks. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. I'll put him right. Well, I want to make sure that it's on the water. Like that. That looks pretty good. And maybe this is unnecessary, but I kind of want to add just like the tiniest little bit of yellow there. I don't know. I'm tempted to also do like a blue there to sort of have the water be reflecting, but I'm not sure if that's the right move. This is so subtle, but it makes it something other than pure white. Okay, I do want to add one little color here, because, whoa, oh no. Wouldn't be a proper video if I didn't spill something. I'm gonna add, that yellow is actually gonna be so invisible from this distance, if you can call it that. So let me do this orange. Okay, I think I changed my mind. I think I'm gonna do the pinky with the little frame. So let me just do that. I don't know. I just sort of instinctively like always want to put the accent on the ring finger. I don't know why. I just started that like when I first started, and it just sort of stuck. Some people like to have the accent on the pinky, some people like to have it on the index, whatever, but I don't know. For me, the default is the ring finger for whatever reason. Okay, I just love these little babies so much, so let's see how that looks. I wish they were all layered, but that would be a big plate. Because I just love how when you layer it, there's just a little bit of the background like peeking through. It makes it look like a little highlight or something, or a sticker even, depending on what you're doing. I just love it. So this has like a little flower next to the gosling there, which I could easily sort of make an extension of this flower down here. And because, believe it or not, my life actually does not depend on this, I think I will just do it and stop overthinking it. My goodness. I'm kind of regretting doing my beak yellow there. Oh well. I feel like the little, wait, what are they called? Goslings? What's a signet? It's a gosling, right? Right? Anyway, I think that they would be a little bit darker in color. Actually, aren't they gray? I'm not going to do that, but yeah, aren't they gray? So let's do them yellow. That makes sense, right? I'm not going to do them all the way. You know my tricks by now. Let's give them a little cheek there. And then we'll add some of this to the swan here. Let's put some darker colors here where there would definitely be shadows. And maybe back there a little bit. Looks good. Coming with the white. If you've been following my channel for a little while, you probably know that our house was heavily impacted by Hurricane Helene. And today, 5 months later, we finally have the roof repaired. Well, that's an overstatement, but it's gonna rain tonight, and for the first time since Helene, the rain will be not coming through the roof, so that's pretty exciting. We have had a bucket underneath for, yeah, since September, and our convertible skylight up there. But yeah, these workmen have been just really busting ass. They're such hard workers. And today they finished patching the roof up, and now it's an enclosed space again. Imagine that. I cannot believe that like no animals moved in. Like I'm pretty sure the mice and stuff got in, but I mean, you know, they'll kind of get in no matter what, I guess. But every time I went up there, I thought for sure like a raccoon was gonna jump out at me, like, or a squirrel or something, or I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. I'm glad they didn't, but I guess there's no food up there. I'm just making sure I got all those little gaps. That's good. And the last thing I need to do is just add this flower. Okay, that's gonna look nice. Let's let her dry. Now let's square this up. I like to just sort of brace it on my finger here, or my fingers here. Obviously, if you're doing it on your own nails, that's a different story, but I like to just brace it like that, and then kind of tripod my fingers like this. And then I can eyeball my center here. Good enough. Most beautiful 2 words in the English language. Oh, that's really pretty, you guys. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Let's top coat this before I have a spaz attack. Actually, I want to add a little bit of this little something here. Hang on. Okay, this isn't exactly what I was looking for. And this is such a minor thing, but I just feel compelled to add a little branch above this guy here. I just want to fill that space. There we go. Kind of closes it in a little more. All right, how are we doing here? I top coated this, which means it is safe to do my sticky base. I can really see that shimmer glitter coming in through the water. That looks so gorgeous. So now we have 1 empty nail. What should we do? What should we do? Okay, how about we do this, but kind of shift it over a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna redo the first nail basically on here. Wow, magic. So I went ahead and just redid that. Let's see, are we still sticky over here? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, let's add our little babies. Oh, come on. Oh, you guys, my heart, it's breaking. Let's top coat these beauties. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. Absolutely dead. And for our last swan, what shall we do? Oh, they're all so cute. All right, let's stamp it first and see. See if it's dry. Okay, I think we're okay here. So yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna kind of shift this over. So I do want to make sure it's about the same level. Ah, no, no, no. Oh, got a little, that's okay. I mean, it looks fine, so that worked out. Yeah, a little piece of the decal kind of flipped back up onto there. And luckily it doesn't affect the image. All right, so we have one more to do, and I'm thinking, yeah, let's do that one. I like this one that's like attacking me. Swans are no joke. They have very powerful wings. They can slap the crap out of you. I've never had that happen, sadly. I actually kind of enjoy being bitten by birds. It's good for their self-esteem. Like, especially like being bit by geese. They're so silly. They're just all posturing. And then when they do bite you, it's, I mean, they can pinch a little, I guess, but I mean, it's not like they have teeth. Well, they kind of do, but it's not like they have lion's teeth or something. They're not that bad. There's this one goose that lives at an animal rescue not too far from here named Clyde, and I love him so much. And I don't think they really want me in there letting him bite me, but I just enjoy it so much. And then, but the thing is, like, once the geese, like, once they realize that you're not afraid of them, they leave you alone, you know? They're just trying to scare you, like most things. Actually, I think I used this other color. This is kind of green leaning, this Winnie one, but this is a little brighter, so I'm gonna use that. I think that's what I used last time on the babies. So again, I'm just kind of doing this as like a shadow. So I always just try to think about my light source when I'm doing these kind of scenes. I want to know where the sun is shining. Not there. In fact, last time I was at a park, I was on a little vacation when I lived in Texas. We went to Arkansas, and we went to a park there, and there were some geese that everyone was terrified of. Those Chinese crested geese, they're my favorite. They're my absolute favorite. I really wish we could have some, but I think the bears would eat them. But anyway, they just were charging, of course, and you know, it just stood my ground and came up to me, and you know, like and then you gain goose respect, and then in a lot of cases you can pet them. So in that case, yeah, like he charged me, and we had a little standoff, and then he was totally fine with me just like petting him, and he started following me all around, following me all over the park, which of course garnered a lot of attention, especially from kids, who then tried to interact with the goose. But the secret of the goose is to show no fear. They feed off of your fear. So anyway, it was funny for me. We left and the geese were attacking everyone else. They call me the Goose Whisperer. Oh, and I have some little green reeds here. I want to color those in too. I find it's helpful when you have these little blades of grass and stuff to start below them and then pull up very gently. Oof, I actually have to use a magnifying glass. I'm getting old in the eyes. All right, good enough. This needs a top coat. Okay, I think we're ready. I like how, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just, yeah, raise the neck over the water line, or over the horizon there. Okay, but only a little. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that looks good. I'm actually kind of regretting not adding more yellow to my middle one there, but he's pure in spirit, I suppose. Maybe he's an angel swan. He's just very pure white colored. Or maybe the sun is just right on him. I'm tough with geese, but I wouldn't mess with a swan. I've never messed with a swan. I just feel like I wouldn't get respect from a swan. Okay, there we go. Isn't that so beautiful? Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. I'm really happy with everything about it. I'm also proud of myself for sticking to my color palette. I didn't add any colors. I actually subtracted some. Oh my gosh, who am I? Really gorgeous plate. Once again, this is Maniology M573. And I have a discount code you can use. It's Zen10, so make sure you plug that in. You can save 10%. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends, and I look forward to hanging out with you again soon. And until next time, bye!